Hi, thanks for watching this video today. I just wanted to share this. This is my watercolour painting of Hogwarts Castle. And this was kind of like an excuse to use some new paints. And I'm just using some Daler Rowney watercolours and some Derwent Graphitint watercolours. And I've just tried these out and I was really surprised. So I just thought I'd do a video to show how they work together with other paints. I'm just going to speed through this. I'm just wetting the paper. This is quite thick paper because I do get a lot. I've had a lot of mistakes with thin watercolour paper, so I always stick to the thick stuff. But I'm just putting some, I think that's probably cadmium yellow or primary yellow. It didn't say, but just got to put this in the sky, not as the sun, but just kind of like the reflections of the sun. And if you can see what I mean, I don't want this to be too bold. I just want the sky to be quite plain. I just put my finger there, absorb some of that. I think that'll do. I don't want this sky to be overpowering for this. This is all just about that castle. And these paints are Daler Simply watercolours, and I do think they're actually quite good. And there's quite a good range of colours in this one. And there's also a couple of metallic ones as well, gold and silver. I haven't tried those out yet, but this is just a test to see how they both work together, the Graphitint and the watercolours. And I just wanted to see how those Graphitint ones work for distance, because they look quite soft. But here we are, it's just dry, and I think, like I say, that'll do. I don't want this to be about the sky, yes. I kind of like it when that was wet, but that looked a bit flat. But I want that sun kind of radiating a bit, just slightly. I'll just do a little bit more, but I do just want this to be about that castle sitting there in basically silence. I just blend that. That should sink in. But I'm not really got to do any sky or clouds. Just a tiny shade. But there you go. Look like a cat has sat on it. I think that'll look alright in the end, but I'll just take some of that out again. But that's dry. Use the hairdryer, but I can't use a hairdryer if the paper's too thin because that'll cramp up. This is alright, but just wet that again. It's taken a lot of punishment. I don't want to get much water on that yellow just in case that blend that out again. But I'll try and leave that dry. And then I know I said I didn't want sky, but I'd just put something in the corner so it doesn't look kind of unfinished. This is cerulean blue. I like cerulean blue for the sky. Just add that out, so I don't want that to be strong, and just let that sink in. Just a tiny bit of shadow around that sun, so it looked like a little bit of cloud. No, that looked a lot better. I better not do too much, because this is, like I say, all about that castle sitting there. But that will do. And I'm not going to tape this down like people do. I've just got to put this pencil there so it gives this a bit of a slope for the water to run down, so I don't want the water to run up. But I'm now applying chrome blue from the Graphitint watercolours. And I love these. I've only just tried them out, but I think they're absolutely brilliant. I got these from a Scrawlbox subscription. As I probably would never have bought them, but I'm pretty stuck in my ways. But I tried them out earlier, and I was just so happy with how they worked. Responded to water, but that metallic pigment let you blend them a bit more than normal paints, and they dry really even with a kind of nice sparkle. They're definitely worth having, but that was chrome blue, and this is slate green. Be brave. But as you can see, they blend nicely. So you can see that chrome blue faded out really, really nicely, and as it's dry, I had to let that dry because I didn't want these mixing at all. That's why I put that pencil there so that didn't travel upwards. But I've got to put another one on after this one, so I've got to let this one dry. Some of this will probably need to be reflected in the bit of water. I'll just do some of that now. That'll run out there. And some of that yellow is reflected still. I ain't got to do too much in this water. I want it to be silent and still. That'll do. A little bit of water. And I want these to be kind of misty as well, so I don't want to do too much on these hills or mountains. Just about reactivating that graphite pigment just on that line there. And if they haven't dried properly, they do reactivate really well, and you can push them about a bit. And say they smooth out really, really nicely, and they don't leave like heavy brush marks or drying lines. And you can see those two colours there, they've already settled in quite nicely. And I'm keeping that paper still tilted down. And this is the last one. This one probably needs to be darker because that's in the foreground more. Like I say, I am still testing these out really, but it only really needs to use 3 colours. And obviously the chrome blue was probably a better choice for the distant one, and a little bit more life in the middle green one. And this first one, is a little bit heavy. That's graphite grey, but I'm going to have to blend that out and soften that at the bottom. But like I say, these are brilliant for blending out and reactivating. They are really clever paints. As you can see just there, that is such a nice graduation between the pigment and the paper. And dry time for that for a bit, and pencil at the bottom. That ain't got to move too much, but I want that pigment to stay on them ridge lines. And that's dry. And I'm gonna get on with the castle. That's got to be at the side. I don't want it in the middle, but I'm going to start off with the reflection of the castle, really, from that little bit of the sun, that yellow ochre. And I'm going to introduce some burnt sienna, some brown, probably burnt umber. I'm just got to focus on this cliffside building first, the Great Hall. This has got to be where the light hits at first. So I'm not going to use too many colours. It's not important. I'm just going to use the basic tonal colours, really. The light, a mid-tone, and the darkest one for the darker areas. I'm going to try not to use too much black and white. I do want it to look quite natural. That is just about the right shape of the Great Hall from this angle. And that is just right on the end of the cliff. But that's just given me something to build on. I'll just speed through this bit, but that is the main bit done, the worrying bit, the start. But like I say, I can work with that. And there's three towers on the Great Hall. I'll just do the middle one first, make sure I get it even, symmetrical. And the end one, get that one out the way. And the Great Hall, that connects to the, or almost to the main tower. I just got to taper the tips and use the kind of the colours of the shade and for the detail. And just hope that work out. That is the thing with watercolour, you just got to make sure you do it right, or don't do too much. But like I say, this connects to the main tower, or almost, just a little bit of a platform or walkway bit. So once this is done, I know where to go with that tower. But I think that'll do. That is the main hall. Just sharpen that up a bit. So I'm not going to use too much black to get the shadows in this, because I do want this to be in the distance. And if you are a fan of Harry Potter, you may know that the Hogwarts castle has got windows all over the place, and in the roofs and walls everywhere. And just got to try and add a few little dots to indicate that. And I'm still using those three colours, light, medium, and dark colour, just to get that effect. Like I say, I don't want this to be too sharp, but I'll just blend this bottom half out. I want this to leave some sort of highlight where there's going to be some or indications of trees or bushes or high ground and some mist maybe. So I've just got to pull this down, and that'll do. But the main tower next, and I'll stick to that method. Them three colours. I won't water down the brown so much, just to get a bit of depth to the shadows as it go further back. But I think that's about the right size, luckily. So I can't get back now anyway. I'll just hurry this up. I did actually outline the castle, but I can't see nothing now. It's all washed away. But like I say, these simply watercolours are quite good, but they don't come with a name, so I'm pretty sure this is burnt umber. And I will add a tiny bit of black as I get further back. And I'm just going to do as much of that as I can to make that look a bit three-dimensional. And a little bit of burnt sienna for the mid-tones. No, I think that'll be enough. This isn't a masterpiece. This is just to kind of like a play about and test out some of these watercolours. But I'm just got to skip through some of the stages so it's not too painful for you. But there you go. There's the main tower and the Great Hall and some of the extra little bits. There's probably the astronomy tower in the back there and the bell towers at the end. And the last bit, the only other bit I was worrying about is this cliffside bit. Normally you'd paint the outside bits or the protruding bits light and the shadows dark, but I've gone the opposite way for this, just to be different. But no, there is a method. I kind of had the idea of some of the mist sitting in them, the little recesses of the cliffs, but yeah, that kind of works. But there you go. I didn't want it to be too dramatic on the cliffs and water, but well, I'm quite happy with that actually. But like I say, this was just a mess around to see how them paints work together. And you can, I don't know if you can see these the hills. They've got that really nice fine metallic hint to them. That is the graphite. And I'm quite happy with that sun as well. It's not too bad. And, but that is all about that castle. But anyway, I really hope you liked this little video, and thank you very much for staying till the end. And please do subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you next time.